without me even knowing it, overnight, this app went live on the App Store. So I know it sounds like clickbait, but I genuinely only spent 6 hours working on this app before it went live on the App Store. And here's the proof. But really, that is all the time that it took. And if you stick around in this video, I'll show you what the app does and how it works. I'll talk you through the things I learned, but most importantly, I'll give you the exact process I use so that you can do the exact same thing yourself. So this app puts a little widget on your home screen, which lets you track your meals and snacks throughout the day. This is to encourage something called regular eating, where you're eating in 3-hour intervals roughly throughout the day. And it's super simple. It's just a widget. There's no streaks, no calorie tracking. It resets every day. And it's just a quiet little thing that sits on your home screen. And I had this idea and thought, hey, I wonder if I could make it work. So this is what I did. I started with about 3 hours of coding one night between midnight and 3 a.m. Really, the reason I tried this is because at 11:45 p.m. I watched this video by Fireship about the Gemini CLI and why it was better than Claude Code. And I just wanted to try it out with this little widget I did. And I tried tinkering with Gemini, Cursor, and Xcode, all in different combinations to try and get the project scaffolded. And this was actually the thing which I found the hardest and took me the longest amount of time. I could make a project in Gemini, but then it wouldn't open in Xcode, and it was just very simple, straightforward Swift files. I could make a project in Cursor, but it still wouldn't open in Xcode, and it gave me a load of junk like info, plist files, and things that automatically get generated that I didn't really need. So in the end, what I did was I opened Xcode, I used the new app wizard to create a new app with a widget for iPhones, and then once that was there, I took in all of the code which Gemini had made and dumped it inside that folder. And this basically got me 90% of the way there. The app would build, it would run on the simulator, and then I just opened the project again in Cursor and went back and forth prompting in Cursor and building and running it in Xcode to see what was working. So there was a lot of back and forth at this point, but if you want to do this yourself, this is what I'd recommend. Start by making a blank project in Xcode and using their setup to just make it as straightforward as possible. Use Gemini or Claude Code, the CLI tools, to just very quickly make a lot of your project work. And then open up Cursor or Gemini or Claude if you'd prefer, and use that to fix bugs and prompt for new features. So to be honest, I'd been skeptical that I'd ever actually get the functionality working. I'm not an iOS developer, so I hadn't really put much thought into this widget apart from just the idea itself. But now that I had the functionality working, now's when I decided to do a bit of design work. So I fired up Figma and I downloaded the Figma iOS UI kit and just tinkered with it till I got something that I liked. This is kind of my bread and butter. As you know, I love doing things in Figma. And so I just designed the app in a very simple way using nice fonts and colors. So then a few weeks passed and I completely forgot about this idea, forgot any progress on it. And so I watched this great interview with Dan Hollick and Rid on Dive Club. And it was all about how Dan was using the Figma MCP with Claude Code. And I hadn't tried out the Figma MCP at this point. I'd used an earlier unofficial version of it, but I hadn't tried it since Figma released their own one. And I thought, hey, I've got this project with some code which doesn't match a design, and I've got these designs that only live in Figma. Maybe I can use this tool to mash them together. And it completely blew my mind. When you start running the Figma MCP, Claude Code or Cursor or whatever AI coding tool you're using just knows what you've got selected. It's kind of like magic. It just knows that you've got a layer selected over in Figma, and then it can pull in that image, pull in all the layer names, pull in the auto layout structure, and just convert those designs into code. But yeah, I really didn't take long to modify the functionality that was already working and just styling it to match what I had in Figma. So at this point, the app was running great on the simulator, and I thought to myself, hey, I know that it's kind of hard to upload apps. I've heard all these stories about the App Store gods rejecting people, but I thought, why not just give it a try? So I spent some time in App Store Connect, filling out the required information, uploading screenshots and legal compliancy stuff, submitted it for review, and nearly exactly 2 weeks later, it got accepted. And I saw an email it had been accepted and then went on to App Store Connect to try and press publish or whatever. And I hadn't realized that I'd just set it to automatically publish. So without me even knowing it, overnight, this app went live in the App Store. So it was pretty crazy. So my main takeaway from all of this is that as a designer, it's easier than ever to actually go and ship things. I've done a few videos about this on my channel in the past, but I really do believe that this is the way that design is heading. It's no longer just about making mock-ups and prototypes. It's being actually involved in the products and services that get shipped and get used by your end users. Now, I know this is a super scary time to be a designer. As Apollo Creed says,
I don't want to change. I like who I am.
But change is coming so fast. In the last year alone, so many new tools and processes and ideas and ways of working have come out. They've changed how I work as a designer and changed how so many designers I know are approaching their jobs. So, in the words of Rocky,
let's face it, we gotta change sometime. Look at that, you know? You don't want to believe this, but that ain't us up there no more, pal. We can't do that the way we did it before.
I know that this is a big scary change, but if you're watching this, I have a hunch that you are also a little bit excited about this. So I would say there's no point waiting. You just got to get in and try it. You got to be curious. You got to give these things a go. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.